What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon down here at Snake River Fly. Got another fly tying tutorial for you today. This one, not necessarily reinventing the wheel by any means, but just kind of putting a new spin on a classic. Zebra midges are, highly effective bugs. Spring, fall, winter, you name it, they're everywhere. I mean, if you had to feed your family on one fly, classic zebra midge would be one that you probably want to pick to fill the freezer in a sense. But this one here, great bug. I mean, whether you're fishing, big fish down in Pyramid, fishing a size, 10, 8, bigger midges like that. Or, say the Snake, American Falls, all of our, reservoirs, whether it's, here in Southeast Idaho or anywhere you are, you're going to find these midges. So this is one, like the ice cream cone is one that has been really popular. I don't know who coined that one, but great bug. But this is one that I like to fish in some bigger sizes around here, early season, ice off that we're gonna have coming up here pretty soon, or down on the Snake, just as a good lead fly, gets down quick. So in the vise right here, this is a Matsu S5 or the S6 from those guys, work fantastic. For this particular one, I got a large silver lined ruby bead here. It's got some really great shine. Instead of using traditionally, that red thread, this is gonna have a lot of pop and really show up in the water. And I mean, I think adds a little jazz there. Bead wise, I'm rocking silver on this one. White's a great option, black nickel. I mean, play around with it. That's the beauty of the midge. So I've just slid my countersunk bead on here, tungsten. This one's a 4mm. I got that large glass bead butted up against there. I got some black thread that we're using here, and I'm just gonna start my thread right behind this glass bead, building up a little bit of a thread dam. I'm then gonna come in with some 4X, because instead of traditionally ribbing this with wire, which you can, I'm gonna tie in this mono. I'm gonna tuck that in behind that glass bead just to kind of help me catch it. A few wraps to secure that. And then I'm gonna come in with some crystal flash. I like the little bit of extra shine that this adds, and then the mono is just gonna help beef this thing up a little bit. So we'll get that tied in, and then we're just gonna touching wraps all the way down the shank here, tying that in, and then advancing our thread back forward, building up, a nice smooth body, covering up all of our tracks. And then as we get up, behind this bead, you can see everything still spins. I'm gonna bring, some thread wraps kind of up and down, all the way up. I mean, probably, three in this 3/4 portion of your fly, just building up a little bit of a taper, a little bit of a ramp behind this thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my, if I can get my stuff all situated here, I'm gonna take my crystal flash. I'm gonna do a couple wraps right at the base, and then wrap this up candy cane style. The crystal flash can tend to be a little slick, so as I wrap it over, I'm taking my finger on top and I'm pinching that down into place. Just holding it, keeping my pressure, that way this doesn't want to come all unraveled on me. Gives it some really cool iridescent shine, like so. Once we get up here to the front, keeping pretty solid pressure, I'm going to do 2 wraps behind that crystal flash, a couple wraps in front, tighten that down, then we can trim that out. And now we're going to come through with our mono, bringing that up. Oops, I had a little drop there. We're going to do the same thing, taking your finger, pressing that down, pulling pretty tight on this stuff, and just kind of following our candy cane stripes. This is gonna add a little bit of, like that raised rib segmentation, but it's also gonna help beef this up without having to use the wire, and it's not gonna take away from the black or that iridescent color that we have with our crystal flash. Same thing, couple wraps behind, couple wraps on top, trim that out. And then we're gonna go ahead and whip finish. Just a couple, because we are gonna coat this with some resin, or head cement, whatever your favorite flavor is. So we'll tighten that down. Gonna trim that out, make sure everything's kind of where we want it. Gonna take a little bit of resin. I just got some knot sense here. If you have balloon flow, it's super fast, but I am completely out of that at the time, so I'm just gonna take a little dab of that off to the side. Come in with a toothpick here. Put a big old glob on the top, and then we're just gonna work our way around the shank here. And we're gonna kind of ramp that up onto that glass bead. Building up a nice body on this, giving it some cool shine, and just locking all that stuff into place. You got it where you like it. Go ahead and give your fancy Renzetti a little rotary there. Come in, cure all that stuff up. Any resin besides your flow, your bone dries, anything like that is typically going to have some tack when it's cured. You can come in with a little bit of hand sanitizer on your finger, rub it down, or hit it with some flow or bone dry, and that's going to take that tack out of it. But that one there is all set. This one, of course, is in a bigger size. If you're fishing, main stem of the Snake, Below American Falls, Pyramid Lake, whatever it may be, or even some of your reservoirs for that early season midgeon. It's a great bug for that. This one right here, little ruby neck midge, more or less. So definitely check this one out on the website. All the materials will be listed there. You can find this video on YouTube and there as well. If you haven't subscribed or anything like that, or liked the video, all of that stuff goes a long ways and helps us out a ton. So we appreciate you guys watching, and happy fishing.